Hi, you're watching This Brand Geek, and in this video I'm telling you everything that you need to know about the new Sony WH-1000X series Mark 6, or the Sony XM6s as normal people would say. If you're in the market to buy these headphones, you've probably already seen 20 reviews, so why should you watch this review? Well, in my opinion, a lot of the reviews that you've probably seen are from people that have been sponsored by Sony, and honestly, almost every review that I've watched about these is pretty much the same. They talk about all of the positives and they leave out pretty much all of the negatives. In this video, I will not only tell you the positives, but I have a list of negatives. So if you are interested in buying the new Sony XM6s, I highly recommend you watch this video so you have a full picture of what these are really like, the good and the bad. Also, a quick side note, all of my neighbours have decided to do home improvements because it's boiling here in London and everybody suddenly wants to improve their houses. So if you hear any drilling or hammering or anything like that, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do about it. Seriously, it's driving me crazy. Anyways, let's get to the review. Okay, so these are the new Sony XM6s, and honestly, they are pretty incredible, but they have quite a few flaws, which I will get into. These were released just over a month ago and they retail for £400 here in the UK or $450 in the US. Now, most other large reviewers probably got these free from Sony maybe a week or two before they were released. And honestly, generally speaking, they all pretty much said the same thing, and I don't think any of them said a few of the negatives that I found whilst using these for the last 33 days or however long I've had them. So let's start at the beginning. They come in a really nice box. It's an original blended material by Sony. It's really cool. You open it up and it reveals this carrying case. More on the case later because this case is actually amazing, but there is one flaw which I haven't seen anyone else talk about yet. Once you open the case, you are presented with the Sony XM6s themselves, a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and a 3.5 to 3.5mm headphone cable. The wires fit in this little pouch, and the headphones, as you have already noticed, are folded. The XM5s did not fold, that was the previous generation, but the XM4s, the generation before that, did fold. So Sony have thankfully gone back to the folding style for these headphones, which is a welcome change. They shouldn't have changed it on the XM5s in the first place. And as a result of that, the carrying case is a lot smaller, and I'll talk about the case properly in a bit. Now, these are available in 3 colors. You can get them in black, platinum silver, and midnight blue, which is what I went for because I think it's the best color, even though this color has its own drawbacks. So I think I'll start by telling you everything I like about these headphones, and then later on in the video I'll tell you everything that I don't like, and there's like a whole list of things. So the first things first, this case. This is the best traveling case for headphones ever. There's no doubt about it. There's no zipper, it's just a magnetic flap. This is brilliant. There's no zip to worry about. Honestly, this is the best case I've ever seen for headphones. It feels like denim, but it's not denim. It's a hard carrying case and it's just perfect in every way almost. Now, when you open it up, it's all molded on the inside and it's just such a premium unboxing experience. I love this case so much. Every headphone manufacturer out there needs to copy this design. There's no two ways about it. This should be the new standard for traveling cases for headphones. I mean, look, you just pack them away and then you're ready to go. It's done. Like, that's not opening. Absolutely perfect. Love it. Sony have outdone themselves. If you travel a lot and you want to keep your headphones safe and a small, compact, amazing carrying case is important to you, this is a really, really strong reason to buy these, on top of all the other reasons. Next up, the sound quality. That's the most important thing, right? Now, when I first tried these about 33 days ago, I didn't like the sound, and I don't know why, but I kept on using them, and then gradually the sound just seemed to get better. Maybe you need to wear them in a little bit? I don't know. The other thing that helped is that there's sound profiles on the Sound Connect app. More on that app later. I hate that app. Anyways, on the Sound Connect app, there are lots of sound profiles like EQ settings. You can have your own EQ settings, but then there's a bunch of presets. Now, there's a preset called Hard, and that preset, honestly, in my opinion, really improves the sound quality of these. It boosts the high end a little bit and it boosts the low end a little bit, and it drops the mids a tiny bit. Honestly, sounds so much better than standard. I recommend going for the Hard audio profile. And again, like I said, these do sound very good. They have new 30mm drivers. I believe the XM5s also had 30mm drivers, but the XM4s had 40mm drivers. The build quality is honestly second to none. These are absolutely gorgeous. They feel premium. They have like a soft touch kind of plastic. The air cups are like this memory foam type thing. Like you can see my fingers indenting it right there. It's like a vegan leather, and they just have a really nice feel to them. Everything is sturdy. There's no creaks, there's no cracks. They just feel durable. They're like a premium product, and they should feel like that because they are £400 here in the UK, or 450 in the US. The other thing that I like about them is this headband. Now the headband is slightly thicker than it was on the XM5s, and it is cushioned enough. It's not amazing, but it's definitely enough. There is one seam on the headband, which is on the back. That's a good way of telling which way around you should wear them. Also, there's like a little notch thing here that you can feel with your thumb, so you know that this is the left ear cup. And the headband opens and closes like this, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I do wish that it had like clicks or something, or it had little markings on the inside here, so when you take them out of the case you can adjust them straight away and then put them on your head, instead of taking them out of the case, putting them on your head and then adjusting them. Now looking at these headphones, they do have a couple of buttons on them. There's a power button, which is now round, so it's a different shape from the noise cancellation and ambient sound button, which is like a thin button right next to the power button. There's a 3.5mm headphone jack. There's a USB-C charging port, and there are 12 microphones. There are 6 on either side, 2 of which are inside the actual air cups themselves. Honestly, that leads me on to my next point about these, which is a positive, and that is noise cancellation, or active noise cancellation. The sound isolation of these when you put them on your head is actually really good. Now, as you can see, even with glasses, they fit perfectly fine, and they reject noise outside really well even without active noise cancellation. That's because of this plush vegan leather. It's like a memory foam, and it just molds around your ears, and if you're wearing glasses, it's not an issue at all. There's no sound bleeding or leaking or anything like that. This is very, very nice, and I really like the design of these. I mean, I do wish they were a little bit bigger, like the Beyerdynamics. Those are my studio headphones over there that I use for editing my videos, and the air cups on those are massive compared to the Sonys. I do wish these were a little bit bigger, but that's for my what I don't love about them list. So let's move on to the next thing. Active noise cancellation, as I was saying, is actually pretty incredible. It's not like the other reviewers are saying, where you can't hear anything and they act like they can block out a nuclear blast or something, because they can't. Is it the best in the world right now? Probably. Sony says it is, and they say that they can prove it, and they can't. I don't think they can make claims like that if it wasn't actually true. So in terms of active noise cancellation, these right now are probably the gold standard, and these are the ones to beat. They are actually brilliant, but you can still hear stuff. I mean, for air conditioners or the sound a plane makes when you're inside it, for that staticky kind of sound, they're great for that, and you can't hear anything when you're listening to music or some content, but they don't drown out everything like some people may lead you to believe. They're very good. They're similar to other active noise cancelling products like the AirPods Pro 2, which are actually amazing for active noise cancelling. I'd say they're on par with these, even though Sony says these are better with their testing or whatever. But yeah, no complaints for the ANC. Just bear in mind that they're not going to block out everything like some people are saying. And now that we've talked about active noise cancellation, we should probably talk about the ambient mode, which is basically Sony's version of Apple's transparency mode. And honestly, this is where these really shine. Now, when you're wearing headphones like this, sometimes it can feel like there's a bit of pressure. And with the clamping force of these, which is actually quite strong, it's nothing to worry about, but it is strong. It's stronger than other headphones I've used. It's stronger than the Beyerdynamics, for example. So you do feel that they're on. But if ambient mode is turned off, then some people do experience some pressure on their ears, and that can lead to headaches and stuff. But if you turn the ambient mode on, which lets sound in through all the microphones, then they just feel so much lighter, and all of that pressure just goes away, and it feels like you're wearing nothing. The transparency mode on these is brilliant. It's a lot like my AirPod Pros too. It's very Apple in that way. It almost feels like Apple made these. And that's a good thing, because the Apple AirPod Pro 2s are just in a league of their own, and these remind me of those, which is a really big plus in my opinion. Now, I did forget to mention when talking about active noise cancelling that these now have a new processor. It's called the HD noise cancelling processor QN3. These process noise 7 times faster than the XM5s, leading to superior active noise cancellation. Like I said, it's great, but it's not magic, so limit your expectations. Moving on to the next thing I like about these, battery life. They take about 3.5 hours to charge, but you get 30 to 40 hours of listening time out of them. 30 hours with ANC on, 40 hours with ANC off, I think. I've charged them maybe twice in the time I've had them. No complaints at all. These just seem to last forever. They're actually amazing. And some other quality of life features that I like about these headphones is when you're wearing them and listening to music or something, if you take them off, it pauses your content. So it'll pause the music, and then when you put them back on, it'll continue playing again, like AirPods. And speaking of AirPods, the AirPod Pro 2 have this feature called head gestures, where if someone's calling you, you can shake your head to reject the call, or you can nod to accept the call, so you don't have to say hey Siri or anything like that. These have that feature too, which again, like I said, is very Apple. And moving on from head gestures, another way to control these headphones is with your voice. So you can literally say, hey headphones, turn on active noise cancellation. Hey headphones, turn on ambient mode. Hey headphones, lower the volume. There's so many things that you can do with just your voice. So you don't have to go into the app, the horrible app, which I'll get to. You don't have to keep using the app. You can just use your voice. Also, quick thing, the noise cancellation and ambient mode button here switches between those two modes, and also in the Sony Sound Connect app, you can set it to toggle between all three options, so active noise cancellation, ambient mode, and then off. And on the right air cup, that's where you can control your music and stuff. So if you swipe forward, it skips ahead. If you swipe backwards, it skips backwards. And then if you swipe up and down, that adjusts your volume. But there is something bad about that, which I'll get to in my things I don't like about these lists, which I think we'll get to now. Before that, a word from this video's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Inu. Now, full disclosure, Inu did reach out to me to sponsor this video, and they did provide these two power banks. But I have been using Inu products for quite a while now. Starting off with this one, this is the Inu P63. It's the market's smallest 25,000 milliamp hour power bank. It outputs 100 watts, which is incredible because I can charge my MacBook with it. When I was on location recently filming a movie, this was charging my camera and my spare batteries. It charges super quickly, it has power delivery, it has two USB-C outputs and one USB-A output. It comes with a little carrying case and a USB-C cable. This one here that you saw standing on the side is the Inu P73. It is the slimmest 10,000 milliamp hour battery on the market with Qi 2 wireless charging. As you can see here with my 16 Pro Max, it just attaches to the back and it will start charging over MagSafe. It is absolutely amazing, and it has a stand on the back, and then your phone goes into that mode where it acts as like a clock. This thing can charge 3 devices at once, just like the P63. This charges 1 over Qi 2 wireless charging, and then another 2 over USB-C. Speaking of USB-C, this lanyard here comes apart to reveal an integrated USB-C cable. So you're never going to be caught out without a USB-C charging cable. And on top of that, you can just leave it on the back of your iPhone with MagSafe, and it will charge it while it's in your pocket. I forgot to mention that they're both covered with Inu's 3-year warranty. So you've got peace of mind there. Both of them are TSA compliant, so you can take them both on planes. No complaints whatsoever. Thank you so much, Inu, for sponsoring my channel. Now, back to the main video. Okay, so these are the things that I don't like about the Sony XM6s. And the first thing I want to talk about is this case. And I know I just went on and on and on about how much I love this case, but there is one really weird thing that I haven't seen anyone else talk about. And it's this. When your headphones are in the case, they're in this orientation, right? Now when you take them out, you unfold them, and they're backwards. So you have to flip them over before you put them on your head. Why? Don't you think that's weird? So you fold them up, you put them away, you push your headband all the way down so you lose your settings. It's like when you get into your car the next day but someone else has driven it and your seat is in the wrong position and your mirrors are all weird, and then you have to readjust everything. It's just bizarre. It's so weird. Don't you think that you should be able to take them off your head, fold them, and just put them away? But no, you have to take them off your head, turn them over, and then fold them and put them away. I just think that's weird, and I thought I'd mention it because it's bugging me. Which leads me to the other point about these. These vegan leather air cup things, they're horrible. They feel great, but as soon as these touch your head, they're greasy. I've had like 4 people try these on, and the first thing that they've said is, damn, they look rough when you take them off your head. I'm like, I know. It's not a deal breaker. But again, if you have OCD like I do, these attract like skin oils and stuff like nothing else I've ever seen. It's just not great. But again, they feel great. They do the job, but I just don't like that. Maybe that's the reason to get platinum silver, because I doubt you'll see that much on those. But on these darker ones, so the midnight blue and the blacks, I think you'll see that a lot, and it will bug some people. I dust everything and clean everything before I film my B-roll, but when I've seen some other reviewers do it, they look rough. And like I said, because when you take them out of the case, they're backwards, I've seen at least 2 reviewers now wearing them the wrong way round. What the hell is going on? This is what I mean. People get these early and then they spend no time with them, and then they publish a review telling you to buy them, and they're not even wearing them the right way around. Let's not get into it. The other thing that bugged me about these was that the box says made for iPhone on it. So I thought that when I switch these on, it'll pop up on my phone like, you know how you get the AirPods animation when it pops up and you just tap connect? Nope, that didn't happen. You have to turn them on and then pair them like a standard pair of headphones. So you have to go to Bluetooth settings and then they pop up and then you pair them. Which, again, first world problem, but because it said made for iPhone on the box, I thought that they would just pop up, and they didn't. The other problem that I haven't had is mic quality. Now these have 6 beam forming microphones. It's meant to be superior call quality. I've tested the call quality and the person on the other end could hear me fine. No one's complained about not being able to hear me, but some reviews online are saying that the mic quality on these is horrible. Now I haven't experienced that, but I don't know, maybe your mileage will vary. I also don't like that you have to switch them on every time you want to use them. I know these are all first world problems. They're quite minor, but I'm used to just taking my headphones out of their case, putting them in my ears, and everything is just on all the time. I wish they had like a soft standby mode, which would consume a tiny bit of your battery, but would give you the added convenience of always being on in like a standby mode. But no, you have to take them out, flip them over, hold the button down, put them on your head, readjust the headband, and then you're good to go. It's not as seamless as it could be, in my opinion. And now, one of the other things that I don't like is the listening modes. Now, the Sound Connect app, which I'll get to after this point I'm making, the listening modes are just weird. Now you have standard, which is, well, standard, and then you have cinema. It's like spatial mode on Apple AirPods, but by Sony. They call it Cinema 360 or something. Now I really like the spatial mode on my AirPods, especially for music and movies. I think it sounds really good. I think Apple's nailed it when it comes to whichever algorithms they're using to make stereo sound like it's some sort of immersive audio. But with the cinema spatial mode on these, it's just not as good. I mean, it's okay, and some music sounds good with it, but I tried it with a couple of movies and a couple of YouTube videos, and on the dialogue it adds this weird echo. It's like some reverb on the dialogue, and I just think it sounds a bit off. I don't know what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of the cinema mode, so I'm sticking with the standard mode. There is also one more listening mode called background music. So you select background music and you can change it to cafe, living room, or bedroom, I think, and it makes it sound like your music is playing in whichever environment you're in and not in your headphones. So it's like background music, but it really lowers the quality of your music. So I just don't know why people wouldn't just turn their music down and have the ambient mode switched on to get superior sound quality, which is kind of playing in the background, and they'll still be able to hear everything around them. I just don't get it. So that's another mode that I won't be using, because I just think it's kind of pointless. I don't know why anyone would use it. But hey, that's just me. And now I'm going to get to my biggest gripe with these headphones, and that is the Sony Sound Connect app. So I'm recording my screen right now, so hopefully you can see it. This is the Sony Sound Connect app. Oh, by the way, this is my new phone case. I had the leather phone case from Ryan London, but it just made the iPhone 16 Pro Max way too heavy and bulky. So I got this one, which has MagSafe and stuff, and the side of your phone is like naked, and it just feels so much. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent for no reason. Back to the Sony Sound Connect app. As you can see, you have your ambient sound control there, your listening mode including background music, the equalizer settings. I've got it set on hard because, like I said, that's the EQ setting that I like the most. And then it's connected to my phone, and then you can connect it to a second device. So my second device is my Apple TV, and it's I mean, it's functional, but it just seems so outdated. I mean, look at it, it's kind of ugly. I just think that this app is tedious to use. For example, if you look at ambient sound control, I can change it here, right? But then if I want to go into it, I have to tap this tiny little arrow on the top right of that box. So you tap that little arrow and you can go to it, which works the way you would expect it to work. But now if you look at the box called listening mode right underneath ambient sound control, if I tap the little arrow, nothing happens. Look, I'm tapping it. I swear, I'm tapping right on it, nothing happens. But if I type the text where it says listening mode, then it opens. But when you tap the arrow, nothing happens. These tiny little arrows are just so annoying that if I switch to cinema and then tap the arrow, nothing. You have to tap the words listening mode to get to it. It's just really odd. It's just inconsistent, and that's one thing I don't like about like this user experience. It's just inconsistent and it's tedious. Same thing with the equalizer. If I tap where it says hard, it comes up with a list, right? But you can't see the equalizer. So you close that and then you tap the little arrow and now you can see the equalizer. But now you can't switch between the EQ profiles. So you've tapped this little down arrow and now you can scroll through the EQ profiles, which is just really annoying. Why have they done that? Let's go to the home screen. Actually, let's go to the settings. So let's go to system settings. You can connect to 2 devices simultaneously. I've got my voice assistant turned off because Siri on the iPhone is still useless. If you want to know why the new Siri was delayed, I made a video about that. It should be up there on your screen right now. The active noise cancelling and ambient mode button, I've got it set to include all 3 options here, like I said earlier. If you double press that button, then it opens Spotify. You can make it open other things. So I've got it on Spotify right now, but it can do Amazon Music, Endel, or nothing. I wish you could customize that button further to do other things. Like maybe they should have allowed you to use that button to turn on spatial audio, for example, because the only way to turn spatial audio on is through the app. And the more I can avoid this app, the better. Head gestures is turned on. Like I said, you can shake your head or nod to accept and reject calls. Auto switching works quite well. When I play something on my Apple TV, it switches to that. When I play something on my phone, it switches to my phone. So that seems to be working fine. And that's about it for this app. I'm not a fan of this app. I kind of hate it. I think it's tedious. I think it's dated. I think it needs a massive overhaul. I think Sony needs to do better with this app. That app really sucks. And there is one more thing that I do not like about these headphones, and that is the swipe gestures on the right ear cup. Now, like I said earlier in the video when I was talking about the positives, you can swipe forwards and backwards on your right ear cup, and that will let you skip ahead or skip backwards. And then you can swipe up and down to adjust the volume. Now, that up and down swipe is terrible. It barely controls the volume and you have to swipe like 100 times for it to make a difference. And I've tried this with the iPhone and I've tried it with the Apple TV, and you have to keep on swiping. And sometimes when you're swiping, it just doesn't do anything. It makes a sound, but it doesn't increase or decrease the volume, which is a real problem. You can double tap to pause, double tap again to play. The swiping forwards and backwards for skipping a track is fine, it works every time, but it's just swiping up and down for volume really doesn't work the way it should. And like I said, I've got the AirPod Pro 2s and you can swipe up and down on the little stems on those and it works perfectly. I don't know if there's a problem with these. Other reviews haven't mentioned it, but I'm telling you, the up down swiping really sucks. So bear that in mind. Now I know it's subjective, but I do think the sound quality is really good, and I do listen to a wide range of music from Eminem to Queen, from Louis Sycamore to the Halo soundtrack. These consistently sound pretty amazing, and I am kind of in love with them. But they do have a lot of drawbacks, like I mentioned in this video. And because of those drawbacks, I don't think they're worth £400 or $450. Now the XM5s I wouldn't recommend because they don't fold like these do, and they weren't a great update. But the XM4s, which were before the XM5s, did fold, and they're still quite popular, and they cost less than half of what these cost. You can find them for £200 or on sale for $150 sometimes. So I think if you're looking for over-ear headphones like these, maybe you should go for the XM4s and save yourself £200 to £250. But if you do want the cutting edge of active noise cancellation and the best of the best that Sony has to offer right now, the XM6s are definitely the way to go. I think they're great and I do kind of love them. Anyways, I think that's it from me. and I do hope that you found this review useful. I have no idea, I've been recording for like 51 minutes now, so I'll see how much I can edit this down. But like I said, these are really good, I like them a lot. I'll include an affiliate link in the video description down below, so if you hit that, it does support the channel. I'll include one for the UK and the US if I have my Amazon affiliate thing in order. But yeah, you've been watching my review of the Sony WH-1000XM6 or the Sony XM6s. I hope you found it useful and informative, and I hope that I was able to tell you things that other reviewers didn't tell you. Anyways, like the video if you liked it and if you found it informative, and do subscribe if you haven't already. You've been watching This Brand Geek. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.